We begin in the UK with The Guardian, which leads with the investigation into the death of a former Conservative MP, Anne Widdecombe. Widdecombe death inquiry being treated as terror case is the headline. The paper reports that counter-terrorism police have taken over the case after what they describe as a significant amount of new information came to light, reigniting concerns over the security of public figures in Britain. While the lead story is political and investigative, the front page also carries a prominent tribute to actor Sam Neill, marking his death at the age of 78. Now, staying with a story that also centres on the Strait of Hormuz, we're looking at the Financial Times. They look beyond the immediate geopolitical tensions to the economic response. Dubai's DP World planning new East Coast port to bypass Hormuz Strait. So it reports that Dubai's DP World is planning a new East Coast port that would allow shipping to bypass the strategically vital waterway rather than focusing on the latest political developments. The paper frames the story around long-term trade resilience and supply chains, and the front page image is of smoke rising over the strait, and it reinforces the commercial stakes behind the conflict, especially around the Strait of Hormuz. Now to the Hindustan Times, also giving prominence to the Strait of Hormuz, but from Washington's perspective. It leads with President Donald Trump's decision to reimpose a naval blockade on Iranian vessels while maintaining that commercial shipping will continue to move through the waterway. Compared with the Financial Times, which examines the business implications, the Hindustan Times focuses more on the latest escalation in US policy, and the image again of smoke over the strait underlines this renewed tension. Now, Pakistan's Daily Times continues the same story, but frames it around President Trump's announcement to reinstate the blockade on Iranian ports. The emphasis here is on the US decision itself and its regional implications, while also highlighting assurances that international shipping routes will remain open. The front page picture is of President Trump himself, reflecting that editorial focus placing the announcement rather than the conflict at the center of the coverage. So turning from geopolitics to technology now, China Daily leads with President Xi Jinping's plans to outline China's vision for artificial intelligence at the World Artificial Intelligence Conference, which is happening in Shanghai. Xi to set out vision for AI development is the headline. The newspaper presents the event as an opportunity for China to shape international cooperation and governance in AI. Interestingly, while technology dominates the headline, the largest image on the front page is actually showing some severe flooding that's been caused by Typhoon Bavi, a reminder of another major story affecting Asia at the moment. Across the United States, the Washington Post takes a very different direction. Rather than leading on international affairs, it focuses on a domestic legal ruling in which a federal judge found that President Trump's lawyers and senior Justice Department officials misused the court in an IRS case. Trump's attorneys, DOJ leaders, they're saying that they misused courts in this IRS case. The judge says the decision includes referrals for possible disciplinary action, making legal accountability, not foreign policy, the newspaper's principal concern. And finally, well, let's first go actually to the Australian before we go to the Dhaka Tribune. It's turning its attention to the housing market. First home buyers fall foul of fix. So its lead story argues that recent government policies and tax settings are making it increasingly difficult for first-time buyers to compete with investors, placing affordability at the heart of the national debate. Visually, however, the front page has got a full-page tribute to actor Sam Neill. It's a notable contrast with The Guardian, where his passing is it's being given front and centre. It's the secondary story in the Australian, but it is the dominant image. Okay, the Dhaka Tribune in Bangladesh leads with the devastating impact of heavy monsoon rains across the country. Why Dhaka keeps flooding after every heavy rain? Well, the paper reports that floods and landslides have claimed dozens of lives, while also examining why Dhaka remains so vulnerable to severe flooding after every period of intense rainfall. Unlike many of today's newspapers, which focus on politics and international tensions, the Dhaka Tribune keeps its attention firmly on a humanitarian crisis at home. The striking front page photograph of submerged streets powerfully reflects the full scale of the flooding going on there at the moment. So those are the stories making front pages around the world this morning. We'll of course keep an eye on those stories and how they develop.